G'day folks, welcome to another episode of Bandaged Cube Creations. Well, today's puzzle is the Unbandaged Big Block. This was proposed by Burjo, who was looking to make a few simpler ones for people like me, I think. And you know what the Big Block is? It's one of the core foundational puzzles, one of the ones that CUBETWIST put out. Well, this is the Unbandaged Big Block. So just here it's been sort of sliced, so now this can move around. Now it doesn't actually make a huge amount of difference in where things can go, but it does open up the solving, and it creates a situation that probably and possibly you may not have seen before, and I'll get to that. It's a really good puzzle to get another technique under the belt. So in terms of getting this scrambled, initially I suppose we're just doing things like this, back and forth. You can turn this face as well. That's the difference here, is that we can turn this. So if you think about if we couldn't turn it, all we're really doing is this sort of thing. With the ability to turn it, we can now kind of turn those corners, which actually means the edges flip as well. So if we can only turn these faces, that green-red edge, it's always going to be correctly oriented to where it belongs, like there. But now that we can turn this around, suddenly now it is not correctly oriented. So that's what it does. And we just got to scramble it now, and we're definitely going to be forced to come up with some new techniques. So I like puzzles like this. This one did have me scratching my head for a little bit. Just one particular aspect of it. And I mean, I can go to there and do that. It's probably, I don't know, it's almost well scrambled at this point. What more can you do? Probably separate those two things, I would say. How are we looking? I reckon we're looking pretty good. I mean, you can say I could turn it there, but there's really only now one turn that I can do by doing that. Go over here. What can I do? Nothing whatsoever. Only this top face, again to there. That's about it. So we're ready to go. Obviously, the first step is to put that into place. And then I'm going to go ahead and just start solving the edges as I normally would on a big block. So either the two at the bottom or the two at the sides. Let's do the two at the sides. So yellow-orange, first of all. And I can see straight away that that is flipped, which would not be possible if it was a true big block. So in order to unflip it, what I'm going to need to do is something like turn that upper face one turn, which now has unflipped it, and you'll see when I return it, I can happily place that into position. And just think, if I wasn't able to turn that upper face, I would never be able to unflip it. So that's that one done. Red, white over here. Again, we see that that's flipped, so we can unflip it. Now, in doing that, I've brought that out, but I'm not fussed. It is going to unflip now. So probably what I would do is just kind of unflip it, put the red, white in. And now that that's in safely, put this one back. No stress. Job done. Let's now go to the two bottom ones. I've got red, green. That one is okay. I can just cycle home. This one is yellow, green. That one also looks okay. And that'll leave the last three. I'll either have a swap or a cycle. So red, yellow, blue, red. Okay, looks like I've got a swap here. That one's in place. Because of that, I would just turn one of these side faces one turn and then resolve these two edges. There's the first one. And now the yellow-orange going over to here. And now with these last three, I'll have a three cycle of some kind. So it looks to me like I've got the blue-red going to here, the yellow-red down to there. Again, I can just turn that upper face to get that done. Okay, that's the edges done. Now, for the corners, let's begin and think about how we'd normally go about this. And if I don't encounter the problem that we encounter, I am absolutely going to set up for it. the first thing we do is get these bottom two corners dealt with. So yellow, orange, green, I see that's here, so I would bring them both into the middle and just do 3 down, down, up, ups. And now that that's done, I can put them back. The edges will return. That corner is safely in. This one, red, green, white. Okay, that's sitting over here, so the easiest thing would be to rotate that face so that these two will be opposite sides. They will swap, as will these two, which I'm not concerned about yet. And put that back into place. That's done. Now, ordinarily on a big block, at this point, you're going to have a 2 plus 2 swap. You're going to have these two needing to swap and these two needing to swap. Let's see what we've got. We do actually have one corner in position, which means we now have a 3 cycle, which we just wouldn't normally get. So I've got the yellow, green, red going to here, the yellow, blue, red going to here, yellow, blue, orange going to here. Now, as I said at the start, this was the section that I said there was a section that took me quite a while to figure out. And I knew it had to have something to do with this upper face turn, because that's the thing that's got us into this problem. So there's no way you're just going to do it with just turning these faces. Here's what I came up with in the end. We're going to do down, down, up, ups, 3 of them as normal. But in between, we're going to do an upper turn, a front 2, and then an up prime. That's the key move surrounding them that will get the job done. I've got these 3 pieces involved. Now, if I do my U front 2 U prime move first, what's going to happen is the pieces are going to go from up back right to up front left to up down left. So they're going to go this direction, sort of, I suppose, downwards. If I do my 3 down, down, up, ups first, then they're going to go in the opposite direction. So let's put them back here. Let's have a look at what's got to go where. The yellow, green, red has to go to, in fact, that's the original spot, isn't it? The yellow, green, red has to go down to here. So I'll turn that over and think, right, that has got to go to there. That's got to go to there. I'm going this direction. And so that tells me that what I want to do is U front 2 U prime as my first kind of half move. And then I do 3 of these. And then I just want to repeat exactly that. So U front 2 U prime and 3 of these again. Now, when we undo the setups, what we'll see is that those two weren't touched, they were in the middle, but now I have all my pieces in their correct position. So that may seem like a pretty straightforward sequence, and I think it is, but if you played with this yourself and you had not encountered this sort of thing before, how do you cycle corners when you just don't have these faces to turn, you've got things in the way? I'm sure you'll agree that probably does take a little bit of figuring out. That's something that I'm going to put in my technique box for the future, and I'm positive I'll end up using something like that again. So that is how I'm going to permute the corners. From now, the good news is it's easier to twist them. So I've got a lot of corners to twist here. In fact, I've got every single one that I've got to twist. I'm just going to hold the puzzle like this so that I've got the big block at the back down, and I'm going to do a Sune and a Sune mirror. I've just got to think what corners are where. This needs to twist anti-clockwise, so does that one, so does that one, and this one clockwise. So the easiest thing at the moment will be to set up there. So these two should get done. Now, here we go. I got a Sune first of all. Now I'm going to do a Sune mirror. Now, if you just try to do this, you'll find that you are blocked because of this. So in the middle, I just want to turn the whole bottom part of the cube one turn around so that it frees up that face. And when I'm done, I'll turn that back and you'll see those two corners have been twisted. Undo that setup move. Got 4 to go. Now, anti-clockwise, they're both anti-clockwise. These are both clockwise. So If I could, I'd like to get one of them one at a time. I think what I can do is something like this as a setup. I won't bother remembering that. That's going to be clockwise, that's anti. So now I just want to do U2. That'll put those in the correct position, and away I go. And undo the U2 and undo that. That leaves the final two. That's the one that's got to go there. This has got to go here. So I've got to think, how do I do that? I can either turn this to there or to there. Yep. So what I want to do is a setup there first, and then a front two, up two, and that should get the job done. That back. Let's do the up two, let's do the front two, and then our final setup move. And that is the unbandaged big block dealt with. As I said at the start, it's not what you'd call a super difficult puzzle, but it does give us another technique that we'll need to use, and for that reason it's a nice little addition to the Bandaged cube family. Well, here's the puzzle for the next video, and this one is the very well known Bandaged 3. This is also known as the Bandaged 3 Hitotoshi, or simply the Hitotoshi puzzle. So this was one of the first CUBETWIST cubes. They produced 6 before the DIY kit, and this Bandaged 3 was obviously invented by Mr. Hitotoshi, who invented a few other quite well-known puzzles as well. And this one's very simple, but it's very tricky. So it's just got 3 pairs emanating from a corner. In this case, if we hold it with the standard yellow top, blue front, you can see there's the first pair, front right to front right up. We've also got a front down to front down left, and a right down to right down back. So they are the only 3 pieces. If you can imagine having 3 pairs and placing them wherever you like, clearly different positioning is going to affect the difficulty. So this was a great puzzle to invent because it has that just right feel about it. It's not simple, but it's certainly not inaccessible for most people. So I'm looking forward to this. I haven't looked at it for 10 years at least. Should be a blast.